Hello everybody, I am Krishna Rao Patro. Today I will be discussing about one important concept, that is encapsulation. How encapsulation is provided in Java. I hope already in the previous session we have discussed about the 4 important pillars of OOPs. There the normal concept we have discussed about the encapsulation. Today we will go little bit deeper. Encapsulation is one of the fundamental concepts of OOPs. It refers to the bundling of data with the methods that operates on the data. So the main goal of encapsulation is to provide the binding between the data and methods together with full security. Which method will operate on which data, you know that one. So those data and method you have to keep together with important security. Encapsulation is used to hide the value or state of structured data object inside a class, preventing unauthorized parties direct access to them. So that means it will not permit the others to access if you do not have permission. So only authorized person or only authorized object can access the data. So you have to identify which method can access which data and which data should be more valuable, which is not valuable. So you have to identify. So based upon the importance of data, you have to categorize the data into different categories. The meaning of encapsulation is to make sure that sensitive data is hidden from other users. So the sensitive data should not be shown to others. So you have to identify the importance of each data. So to achieve this, you must declare the variable or attribute as a private. Once the data is private, your data is fully secure. This is one of the keyword available in Java. If you write this keyword before the variable name, then the data is fully secure and this cannot be visible to others also. But to access that one, to access that private data, you have to use the 2 important method, getter and setter method, to access the value, or you want to modify the value. So remember, whenever you want to access any private data, then you should use the getter and setter method. With the help of the getter and setter method, you can access, or you can change, or you can update. The 2 important methods, one is getter, second one is setter. The private variable can only be accessed within the same class. You know that private data, it can be visible, means it is accessible within the class only. You cannot access outside the class. So it is possible to access them if you provide getter and setter method. So in object-oriented programming, there is a special method called getter and setter method. The get method returns the variable's value. That means whatever the values are there, that value if you want to return, then you have to use getter method. If you want to update or if you want to change, then you have to use the method called setter method. So set method set the value, because generally private variables are not accessible by outsiders. So if you want to access or if you want to change, then always use the get method and set method. They are the 2 important methods you have to write in a class if at all you want to access the private data. The syntax for both is that the start with either get or set method followed by the names of the variable and with the first letter in the uppercase. This is the syntax. For example, my variable is account, ACCOUNT. My account number should be very private. It should not be known. So what type? Assume integer type. So I kept in private. Private int account number. So when I write this one, automatically my account number is private variable. But I want to access or I want to change. So in that case, what you have to do? You have to write one getter method to get the value. Similarly, to change, you have to use setter method. So how to write for that? And these 2 methods must and should be public so that I can access. If these 2 methods are not public, I cannot access. So for that sake, you should write the getter method public. What is the data type? Int, public, int, get. See, as per the syntax is concerned, they must start with get or set followed by the name of the variable with the first letter in uppercase. Get my, what is the variable name? Account number. So the account number's first letter is A. So make A uppercase, ACCOUNT, account number. Then write your logic. So here this is the way of writing. This is for getter method. Similarly for setter method, how to do? As the setter method is not returning anything, but it is setting. So what type of data you have to set? That type of the variable. This is what type? It's the integer type. So the integer type of data you have to pass as a parameter. So you can write the public followed by, it returns nothing, so void. Then you should write set followed by account number, A uppercase, account number. But here you have to pass some variable. What type? Int account number A. This A you have to assign to this account number. So this is the way you have to. So you pass some parameter. This parameter you have to assign to your member variable. So for every attributes, you should write getter and setter method. Getter method to retrieve the value, setter method to set the value. I will show you a small example. See, there is a class called person. The person having one attribute called name, but the name is what? Private type. So that means I want to keep secure. This name should not be known to others directly. So keeping the name in the private part is allowed. Okay, I can write X, but I want to access outside or I want to set. So how to set or how to access? For that I should write two methods. One is getter method, second one is setter method. In the getter method, what it will do? I will get the value of my private variable. Which is the private variable? Name is the private variable. This name private variable's data I want to access it. So you can write return the name. Automatically, whatever the name you are given to the name, that will be returned. This name is what type? It is a string type. So the return type should be string. So this is the way you would write getter method. Similarly, setter method. Setter method is what? You are setting a new name for my private variable. So you can write set name followed by your passing parameter. This name you are assigning to your member variable, which is private. After setting, you are going out without returning anything. So without returning means what? And it must be this. Remember, these two methods must be public. So that's why you wrote this public. The getter and setter method should be public. If these two methods are also private, I cannot access anything. I cannot change anything. I cannot see anything. Then no use of keeping the data fully private. So it must be accessible or it must be modifiable through different method. So directly I will not do. Through indirect way I can do. Okay. Similarly, see, there is a class called main class, and in the main class I am trying to access my name. Already in the previous program you have seen, the name is there, no? This name is private part. So this one, if I want to access directly through object. Now see, I have created object of person. The name of the class was person. Name of the class was person. This person class having attribute name. But which part? Private part. So now, this name I want to access through object. So I have created object of person. Then I am trying to assign the name as Johan. So when I am trying to assign the Johan, but this name is a private variable, through object if I am accessing, then it gives error. This gives error. Similarly, I want to print that value also. As you are trying to access the value, it gives also error. So that means private variable data you cannot access through object directly. So that is the main intention of private data. But actually your intention is what? To change or to access. So if you want to change or access, then there are two standard methods called getter name and set name. So get name and set name method you have to write. So you can write get name and set name. My object dot set name, you can set Johan. Similarly, you can retry my object dot get name automatically. So that means you should write these two methods, set name and get name. So this method will allow you to retrieve the data, and this method will allow you to set the data. So always try to write get name and set name method for your private data. Of course, if it is a public, I can access directly. So for private data, basically you should use getter and setter method. Now, if I assign the Johan through set name, automatically the Johan will be assigned. Similarly, if I am trying to retrieve my obj.get name, this get name method will retrieve the Johan because you have assigned Johan. So this is the output. Okay. Similarly, why you have to encapsulation? This is the better control of class attribute and methods. So if you want to control your attributes and methods, always use encapsulation mechanism so that others cannot access directly through object. So if at all you are giving permission, then only they can access. Here I have given the permission getter and setter method. They cannot use the variable directly. They should go through a proper method only. Similarly, class attribute can made read only or write only by putting private data. So if you use get method, then you can get the data. Similarly, if you use set method, you can change. And the encapsulation is more flexible also. The programmer can change one part of the code without affecting other part. It is more flexible. So with the help of this getter and setter, you can do all types of operation. It is fully controlled. Similarly, it increases the security of the data. So with your authorization, they can change. Otherwise, they cannot access. If at all setter method is not there in your application, then they cannot change the private data. That is the important aspect of object-oriented programming. In object programming, encapsulation is the main concept which provides more security for the data. So encapsulation keeps your data and method together with security. Encapsulation keeps data and method together. Data and method together with security. So this is the way it makes. Okay. Let me show a small program where you can use this concept. Now, for example, I will open my notepad. See now, class person you kept what? Private string name. Now, as you have decided, name is a private data, but you want to assign some value as well as you want to retrieve the value. So, if you want to assign or if you want to retrieve, then there must be a mechanism to access it. So, to access it, what you write? You write getter method, and to change it, you write setter method. And these two methods must be under public access. So, I am using the access modifier, that is public string get name. So, this method will return what? The value what you have assigned to the name part. So, I should return the name part. Similarly, I will write one more method called setter method. Public. Here, this setter method returns nothing. So, I will write void. So, here I will write set. What you are setting? You are setting some new name. So, I will assign one parameter set the new name. It is my additional parameter, means passing through outside. This value I will assign to my name, because here my goal is assign the value or modify the value. This equal to new name. So automatically my new name is assigned to my private data. This is my person class. Now I will write one more class called encapsulation demo or person encapsulation. Encap person. I am writing my own class called encap person. That means I am protecting the person. Here I will try to create an object and try to access the data. So where I have to do? I have to go inside a method public static void main string arguments array. Okay. Here what I will do, I will try to create object of person. Person P, this equal to new person. My object is ready. If I write this statement, automatically one object is ready. Now in my person class there is attribute called name. So in the name no value is there currently. I did not pass any data through constructor. I have called my default constructor, only null string is there. Now I want to assign p dot name equal to Krishna. I want to assign Krishna to the name part because the name is my attribute. After assigning, I want to print it. System dot out dot println hello p dot name. Whatever the name you have assigned, that value I want to print. P dot name. Whenever I am trying to access this private data, then I should get error because name is a private, you cannot access. So now Control C, Control S, Control V dot Java. My program is saved. Now I'll go to my program. Command prompt. Yes. I hope you got the idea now. Java C, encapsulation Java. Yes. Now I got error. Name has private access in person. You cannot access directly. So you will get what? An error message. Now instead of private, assume I will make it public. Because they are the access modifiers. Public means what? You have given the full chance to anybody can see. Now see. Let us see. Compile it. Yeah. There is no restriction. It is compiled successfully. Now how to run? Java encapsulation person plus. Yeah. Now hello Krishna has come. Because you have assigned Krishna to the public data. So if it is public, you can access through object directly. But if it is a private, you cannot access. That's why you are getting error there. But actually your intention is what? Even though it is private, but I want to assign Krishna. So in that case, what you have to do? Even though it is a private, assume I will keep it private, but I want to assign. In that case, if you want to assign, instead of p.name, you should call set name. Using set name, because set name is the public, using set name, you want to assign. So now, set name is the public, I can access it. Similarly, instead of name, I will call p.getName. So now, automatically, this set name and get name which are in the public part, so I can access. For your clarity, I will write instead of same name, I will put hello Anand. Control S. I have given the name Anand. Compile it. Yes. Now I am able to access. Even though it is private, I am able to access through public method. Now it is getting hello Anand. Okay. So whenever you want to access any data directly, then you can use public methods. Fine. Similarly, okay, this is public. I will keep one more thing. This is private data. Public int. For every employee, there is a assume int age. Person's name is there and person's age is there. This age also I am keeping in public part. So if you want to access the public part, what you have to do? p.age equal to SM 21. So automatically I am able to access because age is in the public part. Did you observe here? In the public part, In the public part, I kept age. Line number 4. Please observe line number 4. I kept age in public part. So that means I can access. So if it is a public, I need not write getter and setter. Not required. Even if you write also, there is nothing wrong, but not required here. Because I am able to access directly. So I want to print now person's name and person's age. Name I am getting through my getter method. Whereas the age I am getting directly through object name. So, hello, this is the name part. Name is this. Similarly, age. Age I want to get directly through object. P dot age. So directly through object I can get. Because it is a public. Compile it. Yes, successfully compiled. Now run. Yeah, I got age. If it is a public, I can access. Similarly, assume, so this is private, this is public, and one more is address. Assume, or his gender, character, gender. The gender of the person. Gender means what? Either male or female. So, M, I'll keep a single character. M means male, F means female. So, I want to assign, because if I am not writing anything, this comes under default category. This comes under default. If it is default, I can assign also. Assume that is also equivalent to public. As long as you are in the same class, in the same package, the default also equivalent to public. So, P dot gender equal to, I write as male, M. So, if it is a character constant, you should write within single quote. Because you have to store single character. Similarly, I want to print the gender of the person. Hello, age I am printing, now I am printing gender. Gender is P dot gender. Control S. Now see, I kept 3 data. One public, one private, and one default. So now, yes. Yeah, I kept the gender. So, if it is a public or default, you can access through object directly. For this method, the getter and setter not required. But of course, even if you write also, there is no wrong, but not required. Similarly, one more is that protected. Assume I want to keep his salary. Float protected salary. Salary part I am keeping in protected part. Now this one I want to access through object. P dot salary equal to 2,500 rupees. So I kept the salary in float part, means a float type. Control X. This should be always beginning. Okay, protected float salary. And the salary part I kept 2,500 rupees, and I want to print the salary. Control C. Salary. So P dot salary. Control S. Compile it. Yeah, I got the salary also. As long as you are in the same class, you can access even protected part also. Because you are belong to same class, it is aligned. But only private part, if you are trying to access, then it gives error. Okay. So, always encapsulation keeps the data and method together in a secured area. So, that's why your Java is more secure. Java is providing full security for the data. Whichever method having full rights, it can access. Especially for the private data, it is giving provision to access it as well as to change it. I hope it is clear. So, this is the way you can implement your encapsulation mechanism. So, this is one of the important concepts. Oops. I hope it is clear. You can go through this video and try to know the encapsulation concept, as well as this program you have to read properly. Which data is public, which is protected, and which is default, and which is private. Once you know the behavior of the data, then you can write the corresponding method. Fine. So, we have completed the encapsulation concept of OOPs. So we'll stop the session here.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.